So few students who were having some queries, I have just cleared those queries. Now let us go ahead with some topics are still need to be revised as far as your concern is there. So I'll just definitely do it on Thursday in the last 2 hours, maybe from 11 to 1. So as far as you can say today's session is concerned, it is based on functional programming, right? Before proceeding ahead, let us quickly see what we have talked about into the last class. In the last lecture, we have seen what is the meaning of annotation and a reflection. As I've mentioned, annotation is just like a tagging. It's like a marking. And when you are trying to write the annotation, it is having @ interface as a keyword. When you say annotation, it can take single value, it can take multiple value, it can take, you can say zero number of annotation values. When the annotation is taking any zero values, it means it's a marker annotation. You can have annotation with single value, you can have annotation with multiple values. After this point, we have seen how to use predefined annotations. When you say predefined annotations, it means you can use @override, @suppress warning, @deprecated, and @safeguards. Today we will see @functional interface later on. So we have seen different, you can say different types of predefined annotations that we have used, right? After that, I have explained you how do you create a user-defined annotation. When you talk about user-defined annotation, it is basically you are defining your annotation on your own. And when you create any annotation, you go to the project, you say right-click, new, and the annotation. And whenever you create an annotation, it gives you various options. At what time you need to go for retention, at what time you need to go for some target, at what time you need to document. Now, on that day, we try to write a single code, which was basically based on book. We have used a book as an annotation, and that was an 15_4. Please make sure if you write here, this was the class book who was using the annotation, correct? Next, this was the annotation that we have created. One point I just wanted to explain over here is we have used @retention is equal to runtime. And do you remember at runtime, we have tried to fetch the declared annotation? Do you remember this code? Yes or no? Do you remember this code? Everyone? We have tried to fetch the annotation which is declared in the book file, correct? Now, do you remember in this scenario, it was fetching the fields of annotation, author.first name, author.last name at runtime. Do you remember? We have got the output. First name is equal to Akshita, last name is equal to Chanslani. Did you remember the output? Right. It means, have I fetched the annotation values at a runtime? Yes. Why it was possible? It is because we, while defining the annotation, we have mentioned @retention as a runtime. तो वो runtime तक retain होना चाहिए, इसलिए we have written @retention runtime. If you try out this maybe at the later stage, runtime की जगह पे अगर आप compile लिखते हो या फिर class लिखते हो, at that moment it will not allow you to fetch the values. That is the meaning of retention, correct? So that's what we have seen with respect to annotation. Later on, I have given you the meaning of what is reflection. When you talk about reflection, it means I want to fetch the metadata about the class. And when you say metadata, it can be fields, it can be constructor, it can be methods, it can be some of the annotations declared within the class. Now, when you want to reflect the class, you go for dot class, you go for name, or you can say get class. Till the time you will not reflect the class, you will not be able to fetch the details or fetch the metadata about the class. And that's what I have explained you into the last session, correct? Now, when you talk about reflection, we have seen there is a package which is java.lang.reflect package, in which you have these many methods. Return type is field, method, and so on. If you have fields as a private fields, again, in that scenario, you cannot access it. For that, you need set visible property or set accessible property as a true, right? I had given one practice question to you all. And did you try this practice question? Right. How many of you have written this code? People are saying yes or no, nothing. Have you tried? किया है. Perfect. Only few have tried. Why it is so? Was it too difficult? Right. If you want to practice some specific topic, instead of me giving you the assignments, अगर आपको suppose reflection topic practice करना है, तो search specific topic, question on reflection in Java, in core Java. So you may get a question and start writing the code. This will increase the confidence. Questions on generics, assignment on generics, assignments on exception handling, and so on. That will help you out. Is it okay? All right. Those students who have not done it, when you will do it, even if you're busy, please make sure you do it, right? So, will you please complete this by at least today? All right. So, there are many websites where you can go for this, you can say assignment questions. There's no specific website. कोई भी बुक भी लोगे तो उस बुक में भी लास्ट में आपको मिलेगा. मैंने भी आपको जो बुक्स दिए हैं डे वन पे उसमें भी बैक साइड में या कभी तो एमसी क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे आपको. यू कैन जस्ट चेक. हेड फर्स्ट जावा जो दिया है ना उसमें some practice codes are there, so you can just practice these questions. You can just have a look into this good book. So in this case, maybe after every chapter you have exercise and puzzles. You can check. Will you please do it? Yes or no? Right. So have you ever gone through this book? You have not gone through? Please go through this book. This book, when you read, actually, if you could have a hard copy of it, when you read it, you will enjoy this book because it is having some solution, some practice questions, some you can say specific codes, or you can see there is some puzzle solutions and maybe some small code snippets. And I think there are some assignment questions too. So maybe you can just keep a look into this book. You will get many questions. Is it okay? All right. Yes. So this is one thing that you can always go for reading this book. Array list on arrays, head first, array list. There are many type of questions that they have. Dumb questions, जिसे हम बोलते हैं. So dumb questions are those which are specific fetched from that topic, and then they might be asked in your interview. So how to answer? So here only they have mentioned question and answer. But this book you start reading once you are done with your basics like core Java and so on. So that then you will enjoy reading this book. Little bit knowledge, prerequisite knowledge is required to read this book. Maybe I can go to 88 page. You can see some exercises over there. I just have seen that. So if you can see here, maybe on page 88, you can see here there's a class. फिर maybe they can ask you कि यहाँ पे while condition में क्या condition आएगा, so that you will get the answer. यहाँ पे if condition में क्या condition आएगा, so that you can put the answer. So this will increase your confidence. Can you see that who am I? So these are the classes. So no one have seen this book from the day one? At least one or two students? Just have a look. It's a very good book for your practice. Will you please see this? If you solve that book, you will gain confidence on its own automatically. Okay, so good. So make sure you look into that book. And it is interesting it feels interesting while reading that book because you may get questions and so on. So now, if you find it difficult, I'm there. No worries, you can ask me the doubts. Okay? It does not mean that Thursday, if you have a last lecture, I will not meet you anywhere. I'll be there for you. Don't worry. Okay. So when you talk about functional programming, we will see three specific things in functional programming. One is lambda expressions, and second is method reference, and the third is you can say streams. Now, the main use of functional programming is if I say I want to reduce line of codes in my program, then I write a program in such a way that my line of code gets reduced. So what is functional programming? It is just a style of writing a program so that your line of code will get reduced and you will have a clean code. Now, what do you mean by a clean code? So when you develop different applications where you have bigger projects, in that case, you always try to reduce some line of codes so that your code will become compact. For example, if you can recollect, All of you, I'll give you the basic example. If I write for integer I equal to 0, maybe I'll say I less than 25, maybe I'll say I plus plus, and maybe we can write system.out.println I. All of you know this for loop, correct? Next, if you say I am writing the same code for each integer I in my maybe array, ARR array, I just want to print system.out.println maybe array or maybe the variable I. Now, could you please recollect and tell me, this is assuming the first way where array length is of 25, maybe you can find ARR.length. This is the first way to print the data and this is the second way to print the data. All of you, can you please tell me in this scenario which method you will go for? First or second? Which you will find easier? Obviously, now you all are comfortable with a for each loop, then why would you go for the first kind of for each loop? Correct? Similarly, in this scenario, initially functional programming is little bit difficult to write. The reason is maybe you will find little bit difficult in writing the code, but yes, when you go for advanced Java topics, in those scenarios, majorly functional programming is used. Correct? So, here we have three things: lambda expression, method reference and stream. तो जब आपने simple for loop देखा, तो simple for loop में I integer I equal to 0, I less than 20, I plus plus and so on, that you are finding little bit clumsy. You are finding for each loop very clean, correct? So that's called as reducing the line of code, reducing the developer efforts, and your code is also looking little bit clean, and that's called as a clean code. Similarly, if you are using functional style of programming, in that case, your code gets reduced so it looks clean. Correct? So that's a practice. It is not compulsory that you should always go for functional programming. It is completely based on you whether to go for a functional style of programming or whether to go for any other program, the conventional programming. But yes, if you go for a functional programming, your line of code will get reduced, right? So I'll just write need of functional programming. Right? So the first thing is lambda expressions. Before proceeding ahead, if you could recollect, in java.lang, there is something called as annotation types, right? And there is something called as functional interface. If you can observe, it's an annotation type, functional interface. It is saying @interface. I hope you remember what exactly is this. Can you please quickly tell me what is this? @interface लिखा है तो क्या है ये? Whenever it is @interface, what it is? It is nothing but predefined annotation. Perfect. Next, let us read it. What is this in functional interface? Now, before proceeding ahead, let me write one, you can say, function, or maybe I'm creating one functional interface. So let us understand what is functional interface. Do you remember, if I am writing interface, let us say test. And if I'm saying void M1, maybe I'm saying void M2. Correct? Now quickly tell me, by looking into this, what is test? What is test? It is an interface. Have I declared it's an interface? Yes, it's a user-defined interface. Perfect. Now tell me, test interface consists of how many method declarations? 2 method declarations. Perfect. Good. And do you remember behind the scene how these M1 and M2 are treated? जब भी आपके किसी भी इंटरफेस में मेथड्स डिक्लेयर करते हो, आर दे बाय डिफॉल्ट पब्लिक, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, फाइनल, void M1, ऐसे कुछ तो रहता है? Do you remember? Right. Next, can I say here M2 will be on the similar lines? Perfect. Good. Now, let me take one more example. Suppose I'm saying I'm having an interface demo. In this, I have void F1. And in this case, if you say, what is demo over here? Demo is also one interface. Next, can you please quickly tell me, demo interface consists of how many abstract methods? One, or I'll say single, one abstract method, or a single abstract method. I'll say SAM, right? A single abstract method, correct? And I know this function F1 will be treated as public abstract final F1, void F1, correct? Now, listen very carefully. I'll use the definition part. I'll write here a statement. The most important statement. Any interface which consists of single abstract method is called as functional interface. Albeit, I'll help you out what I have written. Any interface which consists of a single abstract method, that is called as functional इंटरफेस. जो फंक्शनल प्रोग्रामिंग है, जिस फ्लो से मैं आपको पढ़ा रही हूँ, मैं थोड़ा सा स्लो जा रही हूँ. अनदर पॉइंट इज, जिस फ्लो से पढ़ा रही हूँ, जस्ट लिसन एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड वट एवर आई एम स्पीकिंग इन द सेम फ्लो. Whatever questions that you will have, I'll explain later. Right now, you may find it a little bit difficult, but let us go ahead with the flow. Whatever terminologies I'm using and so on and so forth. Just listen. So, when I'm saying any interface which consists of one single abstract method, it is called as a functional interface. Have you understood what is functional interface? Everyone? यहाँ तक समझ में आया? So can I say demo is a functional interface? Why? Because my interface demo is having only one abstract method. That's why it is functional interface. Are we okay? Yes or no? Yes or no? यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Perfect. That's the reason. If I'm writing @ functional interface over here, will it be okay? 100% yes. Can you please tell me, I have used @ functional interface, means can I say, am I defining it or using it? Am I defining the annotation or using the annotation? I'm using it. Perfect. In front of which target? In front of which target? In front of demo target. Demo क्या है? Method है. कुछ याद आया target value? Yes or no? Right. Means, can I say, जब भी मेरे इंटरफेस में एक ही abstract final method है, that interface is called as functional interface. These are some terminologies that you need to understand. And if you say, if my interface is having one abstract method, then I can annotate that interface with a name called as functional interface. Are we good up to this point? Yes or no? Perfect. Next point. The method. Target is interface. Target is interface. Check this out. Can I say interface is a type? Yes, it's a type. Class can be a type. Method can be a type. I hope you can see @ interface functional interface, @ target value is equal to type, @ retention value is equal to runtime. कुछ समझ में आया ये क्यों यूज किया है उसके पहले? Yes or no? Perfect. Next, listen. Next point. जो ये मेथड है F1, the method F1 which is declared as abstract within the functional interface, इससे हम बोलते हैं हायर ऑर्डर फंक्शन. That's the terminology. So what do you mean by higher order or function, या फिर कभी कभी इसे first class citizen function भी बोलते हैं. So what do you mean by that? The methods which are declared within the functional interface are called as higher order functions. I'll save this. I've just given you an introduction. We will see the programs too, but it will take little time. Did you all at least understood the meaning of what is functional interface? और कहाँ पे हम functional interface annotate कर सकते हैं? You want to check it? Let us check. I have declared an interface demo. I'm declaring public void f1 method. As soon as I'm writing it, and if I'm saying, let us assume I have interface test. And in this interface, maybe I have public void m1, void m2. I should write here public. Now, if I just see in this scenario, demo interface is having only one method. So I will annotate at the rate functional interface. But as soon as you write an annotation over here, it will give you an error. It says that test is not a functional interface. Okay, so this is JavaC error. So now onwards, whenever I'll say this is a functional interface, it means what? That interface is having only one method of its own. Okay, right. So that's what I have written. Please read it. पहले मैंने एक इंटरफेस लिया जहां पे दो मेथड्स लिखे, एक इंटरफेस लिया जहां पे मैंने एक ही मेथड डिक्लेयर किया, and I said a very important statement. Any interface which consists of single abstract method is called as functional interface. Is the point clear? Yes or no? Perfect. Next point. Can you see here also? In my program, if you can have two different interfaces in one class, that is absolutely okay. You can create one class, maybe my class. Maybe you can write implements demo, comma, test. Is it a valid statement? Yes, it is a valid statement. सिर्फ आपको यहाँ पे M1 और M2 और F1 implement करना पड़ेगा. Yes or no? You can have more than one interface in the same class. No worries at all. Right. But इतना समझ में आया? You can have a functional interface only if that interface is having one abstract method. Are we okay? ठीक. So, functional programming is basically one of the programming pattern which helps you to build the application by higher order functions. It's a way of writing software applications that uses pure functions. Pure means there is only one method, no other method. They are used for making your code more readable, maintainable, clean and concise code. They use APIs very easily and effectively, and they allows you for parallel processing. So parallel processing ke liye we have streams. Right now, whatever number of lines that you have written in your code, then that is called as imperative style. Whatever style of programming that you have written till this point without functional, they all come under the imperative programs. But when you are talking about functional program, it is called as declarative. Gradually, with the help of examples, you will understand. Declaration means you just have to specify what is to be done. Imperative means you have to specify what is to be done and how it is to be done. That's how it is. Correct? Now, when you are saying, in case of, you can say declarative programs, you specify what is to be done and you do not specify how it is to be done, like an abstraction. We will see the first variation called as lambda expression. So if you see what is first class functions, I've explained. These are the first class citizens and they are basically used in case of functional interface. Correct? Now, functional interfaces are having three different variations of writing the program. The one is lambda expressions. The second is method references. And the third is stream programming, right? So let us first write about, or let us first understand lambda expressions. Now, suppose I'm going ahead into one code. So here I'll just write it, demo of functional versus non-functional interface. How to identify. That's it. All right. I'll close this. I'll create a new project. And let us try to work with lambda expressions. I'll first explain through the programs lambda expressions, then we will go to the slides. Example of lambda expressions. Now, let us assume I'm writing list. I can create any list of integers. Maybe I'll say L1 is equal to, there's a as list function. You can use, you can pass any array list, but here I have used arrays.asList. Now, in this scenario, you can pass a complete array list, you can pass linked list, you can pass stack and so on, but I have used a direct function arrays.asList. This is used to create a list having some elements. Correct. Now, the one way that I want to go for printing the list is L1. When you try to execute this, am I getting the list? Yes. Perfect. Next, I hope you remember, for each integer I, in my list, I would like to print that variable I. This is another way. Let us execute this and check the output. Am I getting the output? Right. But now, I do not want to line two lines of a code. I want to write the same code in a single line. And second, I do not want to write the code in the imperative style. I want to write this code using some expression format. And that is called as lambda expression. So I'll just put a println statement and let us understand. How do I go for? I'll say L1 dot for each. Inside the bracket, I'll say X. You can say arrow symbol, system.out.println X. Let us just execute. So here I'll just write printing using for loop. And here I'm writing printing using lambda. Let's execute. Are we getting exactly the same output? Yes. When I try to print it using for loop, it is called as imperative style of programming. Why it is imperative? Because you have to specify what is to be done and how it is to be done. But when you say functional programming, it is declarative style of programming. Declarative means you just specify what is to be done. How? You do not specify it. Now let us understand syntax part. A declarative statement is written in the form of lambda expressions. So let us observe. Here, when I have used a for loop, I have supplied some integer, I have supplied a variable, I have told to the compiler, please iterate through L1. And then I'm saying print this I. If you would have used for loop I equal to 0, I less than L1 dot length, I plus plus, means you have intimated to the compiler, start I from 0, go up to length L minus 1, go with I plus plus, and so on. That would also have worked fine. Maybe I can write for int I equal to 0, I less than L1 dot length or L1 dot size, I plus plus. And maybe I would have used L1 dot get I. This is again an imperative style of programming, because everything you are mentioning in a proper format, it is displaying you the data. But here, when you have used a lambda expression, here I was using two lines of a code, one integer variable, one size function, one get function. Code is looking clumsy. When I've used for each loop, I've just said, go for integer I, iterate through L1, print I, little bit more clean. And when I have written this lambda expression, just a single line of a code, and my job is done. Now let's talk about lambda expression. When you see for each, it becomes a function. In which part? Java.lang.iterable. I hope you remember we have seen three interfaces, something called as iterator, something called as list iterator, and enumeration. कुछ याद है? Yes or no? Do you remember this? Right. On the similar lines, in java.lang, right? In java.lang, right? You can check. You have java.lang.iterable for each. So let us check. Java.lang.iterable, and you have consumer called as for each. There is an interface called as iterable, and here in the iterable, you can see you have a method. The method says for each. Please observe, it is taking any consumer. Now, whenever you are working with functional style of programming, I'll just go to consumer. Here, java.util.function helps you to work with these functional style of programming. Please tell me, consumer is what? Documentation देख के क्या दिख रहा है? Consumer क्या है? It's a interface. Perfect. Next, can you see here? Consumer के आगे annotation दिया गया है functional interface. What do you mean by functional interface? It means consumer ऐसा एक इंटरफेस है जहां पे it is having one method, one abstract method. You can check, here's a method. Can you see it is having its own default, one is default one and then वाला, लेकिन उसके पास एक ही method है except method. Abstract methods, can you see abstract method? Yes, performs this operation on the given argument and so on. It means iterable में एक for each नाम का method है जो कुछ तो consume करता है और it performs the given action. So, performs the given action for element of iterable until all the elements have been processed and throws an exception. Let's see this. I have written L1 dot for each. So, L1 क्या है? List. Please let's go to list. Hope you know how to go to the list. Go to java.util. Go to list interface. Please observe, in this list, is my list is iterable? Yes, our list is iterable. अगर list iterable है, तो ही मैं उसका for each loop use कर सकती हूँ. Are you okay? Since list is implementing iterable, that's the reason I can directly apply a for each loop. In this case, consumer super T. T is what? List. Is my list is basically having iterable? Yes. And that's the reason I have used L1 dot for each. जैसे पहले पहले आपको ये for each लिखने में तकलीफ होती थी, अब आपको ये इजी जाता है. Similarly, functional style of programming में lambda expressions initially लिखने में difficult जाती है, but gradually you will get a good confidence. So how I have written? Any iterable collection, which is my L1 in our case, dot for each. So what is for each? For each is going to iterate through the collection. Next, you have X arrow system.out.println X. Now, this is called as lambda expression. I'll just copy. Hold on. Hold on. I'll just copy this. Here I'll say this is called as lambda expression. I'll just write it on top. This much part is called as lambda expression. Now, the syntax of lambda expression is fixed. How it is fixed? Here, the left side part specifies the argument. arrow is fixed and the right hand side part specifies the function, like a function definition, or the task to be done on arguments. Similar to function definition. So, suppose if I'm saying I have tried to write void display function, maybe x, any argument, integer value, assume, and I'm writing system.out.println value. This is how you display the data. But how do you represent this complete scenario in lambda expression? Whatever number of argument that you pass, it is stored on the left side of your lambda. Whatever is your expression that you want to go for, the function definition, you write over here. Did you all get how the lambda expression is divided? Yes or no? So it means in case of lambda expressions, you try to write the expression in the form of left side it takes some argument, arrow symbol के right hand side में ये उस argument के साथ क्या करना है, what function definition that I want, that I'll write it over here. Now, when I say L1, everyone knows this is our L1. I'll copy here L1. I'll just write it 1, 2, 3 and 4. When you write L1 and when you are saying for each, so what will happen? Because of this for each loop, initially it was pointing to 1. So initially x is 1. System.out.println x. So it is 1. Again your for each is there. I will go to 2. So what is x? X is 2 now. What I have to do with this 2? I just have to print 2. It will print 2. Since it's a for each, it will go to 3. And 3 is it basically considered as x value. I'm printing 3. That's what my expression is doing. For each will go to 4. X will be 4. System.out.println 4. That's why it is printing 4. Next, it will go here. Do I have any element? No. Iteration is done. Have I mentioned कि please go up to L1.length? No. Have I mentioned please start from I equal to 0? No. I have just said iterate through the list 1 and display element one by one. Is it reducing my line of code? Yes. Is it basically little bit more easier than writing your for loops like this? Of course, yes. So what is X? It is a parameter, argument. What you have to perform with parameter, I just want to print it. This complete section is called as lambda expression. इसे हम consumer भी बोलते हैं. Lambda expression, so L1 dot for each always takes consumer. Consumer means any data that I'm consuming and I'm performing the for each onto it. Have you understood how I have written line number 20? Everyone. Is it okay? Did you all understand? Perfect. Any other doubts that you have? No. Shall I proceed? Have you understood how we have written lambda expression? I'll take 1 or 2 more examples on lambda. You will gain confidence. Perfect. But at least इतना समझ में आया कि lambda expression लिखते कैसे हैं? Left side it takes argument, right side it takes a complete definition. This is called as lambda expression. Now, please understand, in this scenario, can you see my lambda expression is only of 1 line? Right. And that's why it is called as single line lambda expression. Okay. Have you understood? Perfect. Now, I'll take one more example. Let us say, I'll copy this code. And here, we will write Let us say I'll say list of integer, maybe L1 is equal to arrays dot as list, and I'm passing maybe 11, 22, 33, and 44. Now, what is my requirement? Take each element from the list and add 2 to each element, or plus 2, maybe perform plus 2 to each element. But here, I want to go for lambda expressions. Correct? Now, as I know, lambda expression always is written inside as a consumer, inside normally a for each loop. So as I know, list L1 is iterable. If I want to iterate through the list L1, first thing that I have to use is L1 dot for each. So it will iterate through my list 1. Later on, I want to write a lambda expression. So lambda expression always takes left-hand side part में some argument. Now, if you think logically, how many arguments my lambda expression shall take at a time? Only 1. Why? Because I will say 11, 11 plus 2, then 22, 22 plus 2, 33, 33 plus 2, 44, 44 plus 2. It means at a time, am I working with one argument? Yes. So here I'll pass only one argument. Have you understood how we have defined, how we have considered the number of arguments? Because I know my functionality is in such a way that I have to work only with one argument. But in this scenario, पहले मुझे multiply करना है और बाद में data print करना है. So that means I need 2 lines of codes. When you need multiple lines of code, you have to go for curly brackets. Please make sure when you go for curly brackets, give the opening and closing bracket together to avoid the error. Next, I'm saying I will take this parameter x plus is equal to 2. Can I say I have specified the argument functionality, right? And then I'm just saying system.out.println x. I have not mentioned that for each loop should go from 1, it should go up to list.length and list plus plus. No, I've just mentioned iterate through my list, taking the parameter one after the another, add 2 to each element, print that element. Let us execute. Can you see I'm getting the correct output? Everyone. Right. So here I'll just write. It says iterate through iterate through L1 list using for each, right? And then perform adding 2 to each element. Then print it. Have you understood up to this point, everyone? So this lambda expression is over here. ये मेरा lambda expression है. And is it written in multi-line? Yes, that's why it is called as multi-line lambda expressions. Are you okay? Did you all get up to this point? Have you understood the example of how to go for writing the lambda expressions, everyone? Initially, you may find it a little bit difficult, but yes, with the practice, you will get it. All right. Now, shall I go ahead? So in the first line, we have written the lambda expression like this. In the second way, we have written the lambda in multi-line expression. When you talk about multi-line expression, you pass some argument, you write the expression in curly brackets that denotes multi-line. Perfect. Now, let us take one or two more examples. I'll copy this. Right? In this scenario, I want to write a lambda expression, but here, in this, we will take a lambda expression having local variable. ऐसा एक lambda expression जिसके पास local variable है. ठीक है? Now, let us say I'm creating a list of integer. L1 is equal to arrays dot as list. Inside the bracket, maybe I'll pass 10, 20, 30, and 40. Now, what is my requirement? I want to print the sequence. That is my L1 list. But in this sequence, I have to store the result in some local variable. Means, can we declare a local variable within the lambda expression? Answer is yes. Let's write L1 dot for each. At a time, for each always takes some consumer. Consumer is one functional interface. That's the reason before the starting of the lecture, I have explained you what is functional interface, right? So consumer will take any list, right? Now, here I'll say, I want to write a lambda expression which will work on any single argument. This is my single argument. But my expression can take multiple lines. So always give opening and closing brackets and then start writing the code. Here, I'll say int y is equal to x into 2. And maybe I'll say system.out.println, or maybe I'll say y plus slash t. Let's check. Can you see I'm getting the output? Yes. So little bit line of code is getting reduced in this scenario. The reason is we have specified x that is to be going through the array list. Here, y is called as local variable. Within what? Within the lambda expression. So here I'll write y is the local variable declared inside lambda expression. So we can have local variable within the lambda expressions. That is absolutely okay. Right? Could you get up to this point? All right. Let us take one more example. I'll give you some time. Don't worry. You can practice at your end. We will go for once more the same list. And maybe I'm writing L1 dot for each. And I'll say I want to take one argument. And I want to go for maybe x plus some value. I'll declare some integer value is equal to maybe 25. Now, in this case, let's try to put it into plus t and so on. Let's execute. Can you see 10 plus 25, 35, 20 plus 35, 25 is 45, 55 and 65. So this example is called as capturing the local variable data inside the lambda expression. What does it mean? It means that you have created one local variable and you want to use this local variable in this expression. So here I have 25, I've passed 25. X is nothing but something that I want to iterate through. So I have got this output. Have you all understood up to this point? Lambda expressions. Yes or no? Everyone. Perfect. I'll wait here. I want you all to look into this code once and then I'll proceed ahead and explain a few more features of lambda. I'll wait here. Just give me a moment. I'll bring water. All right. Are you going through the code? I'm waiting so that you can have a good, you can say practice here only. Okay, I'll wait for 2 minutes. Is it done? Just let me know. All right. Yeah. Any questions? Please post it. Still, we have seen few you can say examples, but yes, you will get to know the actual use of lambda expression after taking one or two more examples. In this example, I've just explained you how to write a lambda expression. I've said lambda expression is written like any parameter with some definition point. Okay? Right. Let us check. If I'm saying after this, I would like to print L1. Is it okay? Let's execute. Can you see here? It is just iterating through. Is it modifying the data? No, it is just iterating. The reason is, have I assigned this new data to somewhere? No, so it will not modify. Is your doubt is clear? The one who have asked? All right. Till the time you are not assigning the data, तब तक वो data allocate जब तक नहीं हो रहा है newly, तब तक वो वैसे का वैसे ही रहेगा. Are we good? All right. Shall we go ahead? ठीक. Now, let us say I'll go for day 16 underscore 3. We will try to write lambda using functional interface. Day 16 underscore 3. Now, let us assume, and you will understand how your line of code is completely reduced. Let us say I'm writing one interface having a name called a square. In this interface, I'm declaring public integer get area, and I'm saying integer side. Now, I want everyone, please tell me, can I say get area is an abstract method? Do you agree? By default, it will be public integer abstract file get area. Do you agree? Integer side. This is how it will be considered by my compiler. Correct. Why it is so? It is because get area is defined within the interface. All the interface methods are by default public abstract final. Correct? Now, next point. Can I say interface square is having one abstract method, a single abstract method. If I have single abstract method in an interface, can you please tell me that interface is called as functional interface, right? It's not functional programming, it is a functional interface. So can I annotate this as a functional interface? Can you see? It's working fine. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Yes or no? Perfect. Next point. Very important point. Please tell me, if I want to implement get area inside my class, यहाँ पे मुझे क्या कीवर्ड लिखना पड़ेगा? Can you please tell me, if I want to write the function definition of get area inside the class, then what you have done normally? You might have written here implements square. Do you agree? Right. And जब आप यहाँ पे implement square लिखते हो, is it giving me some kind of exception? Why it is giving me error? It is because I need to add unimplemented methods. That means I have to write an implemented method and I have to return some area. Is it what that we have seen till this point? Yes. But now I do not want to go for that style of programming. I want to go for functional style. So here I'll write, as we are working with Lambda inside the class. So no need to write implements interface name explicitly. Is it okay? यहाँ तक समझ में आया? मुझे मालूम है कि गेट एरिया नाम का फंक्शन है, बट मैं उस फंक्शन का डेफिनेशन करने के लिए यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट्स नहीं लिखूंगी. Now let's understand. Everyone, if I write here square, maybe I'll say area. Will you please tell me what is area over here? ये area क्या है? Is it a variable? Is it a object? Is it a reference variable? Is it what actually it is? Let me know. It is a reference variable. Perfect. Reference variable of which type? कौन से टाइप का रेफरेंस वेरिएबल है? It is of which type? Interface square type. Perfect. Here, I'll just write equal to. I'll say side. Maybe I'll write arrow and I'll say return side into side. Everyone, can you please tell me in this scenario, can I say this is square का spelling गलत है क्या? SQUARE. ठीक है. Can you please tell me in this scenario, is it my lambda expression? Correct. Lambda expression is taking how many arguments? One argument. What it is performing with that one argument? It is performing side into side multiplication. Square का area ऐसा ही calculate करते हो? Correct. Perfect. Now, here I'll just write the points also, so that when you will revise, you will understand. This side is a single argument used in lambda expression. And what lambda expression is doing? Lambda expression is performing side into side and returning its result. Is it okay? Of course, yes. ठीक है. Next point. Everyone, I just would like to go for printing the side. I'll say system.out.println. In this case, I'll just write area of square is equal to area dot get area. Maybe I'll say 5. Hold on. I have passed get area function as 5. Correct? So, let us first check. Are we getting the correct result or not? Let's check. Am I getting the correct result? Yes or no? Of course, yes. Now, let us try. Give me a moment. I'll copy this code. Once again, I'm putting this code into comments. Right? And I'll just copy this. Put this into main. I'm just writing a code. Let us assume I have one interface where hold on, let me first complete, where I am writing implement square. Then as soon as you write implement square, you need to add some unimplemented method, right? I'll save it. It will say add unimplemented method. Maybe I'll pass side and I'll say return side into side. Right? And hope you remember, if you would like to give a call to get area, maybe you can pass 6. And get area method have to be static. So you define this get area, you override it at annotation. Now can you observe, if you write this code, आपको get area method को 100% static declare करना है. Correct. Next point, When you are saying I'm giving a call to get area, I'm getting some size. अगर मुझे इसे स्टैटिक नहीं चाहिए तो कहना इसे मुझे इसका एक ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा न्यू day 16 underscore 3 and I can give a call like obj dot get area maybe 6 and when I try to write obj dot get area in system dot out dot println and I will try to print the you can say area. I'm getting the answer, correct? But please observe, in this scenario, have I implemented the method? In this case, yes. Have I tried to mention the details to the user by creating the object unnecessarily? Yes. Unnecessarily मुझे यहाँ पे object create करना पड़ा, फिर object dot get area call करना पड़ा. Correct? Now, let me just cover this. Here, I am copying this code and explain you the concept. Let us say I have declared one functional interface. This is lambda example. Lambda example. Right. Now, I'm writing this functional interface. So I'll just copy this much part. As everyone knows, my interface square is having one function, which is having only the declaration part, and it is a functional interface. Point number 2. What I have written in main, just 2 lines of code. In the main, we have not written implements square. We have not written anything. We have just written 2 lines of code. Just 2 lines, and I was getting the correct output.